Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be looking at the song A Quiet Moment from Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. We're going to spend most of our time talking about the piano part, but I'm also going to show you how to play the strings part at the end of this video. So if that's something you're interested in, be sure to stick around for that. Also, I want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, go check out my cover of this song. That'll show you exactly what I'm basing this tutorial off of, and it's really going to help you learn this song. Anyway, let's get started. So this song is written in 3/4, and it's in D flat major, which has 5 flats in it. Those flats are D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, and B flat. So we're going to be playing all the black keys. Here's how you know what your scale looks like. So again, we're going to start on D flat. We're going to be playing all the black keys, so we play both of these. Then you got to pick one of these 2 white notes. Pick the one on the right, which is F. Then you're going to play all the black keys. And then you got to pick one of these 2 white notes. Pick the one on the right, which is C. And there's our D flat major scale. Here's what it looks like without stopping. Alright, and those are going to be the only notes we use in this song. Everything is diatonic to the key of D flat major. So we're going to be dividing this song into an A section and a B section. Here's what the A section sounds like. So you know what that is. And then here's the B section. So those are going to be the 2 sections we use. So this song, we're going to play the A section first, and then we're going to repeat the A section, and then we're going to do the B section. And that is 1 time through the song. So let's start with the left hand for the A section. I'm going to show you 2 different fingerings you can use for this. So I really want you to get good at this because you have to play this a lot. So don't rush through this part here. Make sure you really have it down. So okay, we're going to start with our pinky, which is our 5th finger on D flat. And every note we're playing in the left hand is going to be an 8th note. And so again, so we got D flat is an 8th note, to A flat with our 2nd finger, to D flat, the higher D flat with our thumb. So that's 1 and 2. So that's the first half. And then we're going to take our 2nd finger, move up to B flat, take our thumb, move up to E flat, and then we're going to cross over with our 3rd finger to A flat. Now, you probably could cross over with either your 2nd, your 3rd, or your 4th. My personal preference just happens to be my 3rd finger. You figure out which one works best for you. So that looks like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and. And so that's one way to play that. A different fingering that I've seen other people use, it starts out the same with fingers 5, 2, and 1. So that is pinky, pointer finger, and then thumb. Then what you do after that with this alternate fingering is you would jump up with your 4th finger, then use your 2nd finger on E flat, and then our thumb on A flat. So that looks like this. And again, the other fingering looked like this. I would say the one that uses your 4th finger is probably more technically correct, but honestly, I think either one works well. So you figure out which one you prefer and just get really good at that. So we're going to play that for a bit. I'm going to start off really slow. And again, you want to get super good at this. Basically to the point where you can pretty much talk and it becomes second nature where you're not messing up even though you're constantly talking. If you can do that, that's really going to help you because you need to be able to play this 20 times in a row without messing up. And once you start adding the right hand, more mistakes will happen, but that's okay. As long as you're getting better at it, it's going to make it so much easier to play it hands together. So that is the left hand. And again, you are going to play that 20 times in a row. That is not an exaggeration. It's literally 20 times in a row. So that is what our left hand is going to be for the A section. Let's move on to our right hand in the A section. So first off, the left hand is going to play this. You're going to play that 4 times. And on the 5th time, that's when the right hand comes in. So we're going to start with our 2nd finger on D flat. And we're going to divide this. In order to play through the A section, there are 12 notes you play in the right hand. We're going to divide it into 3 groups of 4. So here's the first group. All right, so we've got a quarter note on D flat with our second finger, a dotted quarter note on E flat with our third finger. Our first finger is going to play an eighth note on C. And then we got a held note, which we're going to hold for 5 beats on D flat. So again, that looks like this. All right, so there's the first section. And so again, you hold that last note for 5 beats. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then on beat 3, we're going to begin the second set of 4 notes. That looks like this. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to play it. So there's the first way. Here's the second way. So the first way uses fingers 2 and 3 on your 2 black notes on D flat and E flat. So those are eighth notes, so that's 3 and then we're gonna we're not gonna cross, not yet. So the first way, I like to play with my 4th finger on F, that's a quarter note, to a dotted quarter note, another 4th finger on A flat. Again, this next way is probably more correct. This just happens to be the way I prefer to play it. That's what that looks like. The other way we can do it is, again, starts out the same, 2nd and 3rd finger on D flat and E flat. Cross under with your thumb to F. And then probably your 3rd finger would land on A flat. Maybe your 4th finger, just kind of depends on which one you prefer, but 3rd finger is probably correct. That looks like this. But again, you do what works best for you. I prefer to play it this way. All right, so there's the second section. So combining those 2 sections, that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2. All right. And again, that is a dotted quarter we're landing on. So that's actually beat 2 and then 3. And then on the end of 3, we're going to start the next section, which looks like this. All right. And so I'm playing that with, again, that's an eighth note starting on the and of 3, which is our thumb on C. Crossing over to B flat with our 3rd finger. Again, you probably could use your 4th or your 2nd. I prefer my 3rd. And so that is for a half note. Then a quarter note back on C with our thumb. And then 2nd finger goes right where it started on D flat. That is a dotted half note. That's 3 beats. So again, so here's what that section looks like by itself. All right, and here's what the entire A section looks like with the right hand. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So that is the entire right hand for the A section. Then you're going to wait 2 more measures after you play this note. And so that's just going to be 2 measures of just the left hand doing this. And then after you play that for another 2, or I guess it's 3 if you count it when this note hits. So if you were doing something like, let's see where to start that. 1, 2, 3, and then we'd start it again. So that is where the A section starts. So if you count from where you hit this final note in the A section, if you start counting then, you're going to play through the left hand pattern 3 times. And then on the 4th time, you're going to play the A section 1 more time. So again, because we did the A section twice in a row. So, and it's pretty much the exact same thing with one very minor difference at the very end, but really that's just a lead in to the B section. So let's go ahead and try to play this. Now you might need to work on this hand separately for a little while, and that's okay. We're going to try to play through this entire A section, hands together, very slow. Let's give this a try. 1, 2, 3. Play this 4 times. Get ready for the right hand. again. Again, this is another 3. And then on that final time, so again, we end on a D flat, and we're going to play through this pattern 3 times after we hit this D flat. So that is, again, 1, 2, third time. And then when we get to this E flat here, we're going to hit this D flat in our right hand again. So that's what that's going to sound like, and that's a lead in to the B section. So let's talk about the B section. Let's start with the left hand. So we're going to jump down to this G flat here. So again, we're still playing constant eighth notes. So we're going to have G flat in our pinky, and then we're going to play G flat with our thumb, and then we're going to jump up to B flat with our thumb again, and now our second finger is going to take over the G flat. So we're going to go back to G flat. Our thumb is going to reach all the way up to D flat, and then we're going to jump back down with our second finger to G flat. So this G flat is every other note. So we've got low G flat, high G flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, G flat. So this pattern specifically up here, you want to get really good at that because you're going to be playing that a lot. So again, that looks something like this. If we add our low note, it looks like this. So we play that once, and then you're going to play the exact same thing a second time. All right? And so these top notes up here are going to stay the exact same, but our bass note is going to change. So we play with G flat as the bass note twice. Now we're going to play the same thing, but A flat is going to be the bass note this time. And you could use your thumb again here. At this point, I like to just use my second finger, but if you want to keep using your thumb, more power to you. Either one's fine. But now it looks like this. So there's a little bit of a clash going on there, but it actually sounds really nice when you put everything together. So again, that looks like this. Our pinky on A flat, and then second finger on G flat, thumb on B flat, back to G flat, thumb on D flat, back to G flat. All right, so we play that twice. There's the second time, and we're going to keep the same pattern up here. Our bass note is going to become a B flat now. So again, pinky on B flat now, and we're going to play this pattern twice. All right, and then we're going to, well, before we go to the next section, let's try playing all of that together. So again, starting on G flat as the bass note, and we're going to just keep moving our way up and play each one of these twice. This is what this looks like. And that's where we're going to stop there. Now we want our pinky to keep moving up to C, and we're going to an A flat chord with C in the bass. So we're going to play C, A flat with our second finger. Our thumb's going to go up to E flat, back to our second finger on A flat. Thumb goes down to C, and then back to our A flat. So that is the measure right before the final measure, and the final measure of the first time anyway, is only played by the right hand. So that's where our left hand pattern ends. So again, this whole thing looks something like this. Here's the entire B section. And then you'd cut off as soon as you hit that final A flat. You'd cut off and let just the right hand play. So now something else you could do with the left hand is some people I've seen, now that I'm listening to the song again, I'm like, oh, that note isn't there, and I missed it. They actually make that final G flat. So again, here's the pattern. They make that final G flat up here. So you could do something like this. And you do that for every chord if you wanted to. But I think the high G flat or the low G flat, either one works. You figure out what works best for you. So let's talk about the right hand. So the right hand is actually pretty simple in this section. If you remember, leading into it, we had to re-emphasize this D flat on beat 3. And so you have beat 3 before the B section. You're going to replay this D flat. We've been playing with our second finger, but actually let's play with our thumb now. And then on beat 1, we're going to jump up to this A flat, but go ahead and play the D flat with it and just kind of roll it a bit. So that sounds something like this. 3, 1. And then, so that is a dotted half note, so that takes an entire measure. And then we're just going to walk our way down the scale. So then we have a half note on G flat, going down to F for a quarter note. And then we have 5 beats on E flat. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then beat 3, we just play the pattern again. So we start again on our D flat. So that's beat 3. So 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's the second time through. So it is the exact same thing as the first time we play the B section. And then we have this little thing right here where it's just 3 notes. The left hand drops out and it's just these 3 notes by themselves. So that is B flat, C, A flat. All 3 of those are quarter notes, roughly up to tempo is about here. So I prefer using my thumb, second finger, thumb. But there probably are other fingers you could use there too, but that's just my preference. So hands together, this is what the B section will look like. So again, we'll try to do this really slow. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So there's the B section. And the second time through, I actually so the first time through the song, we play through this entire song twice. Or really, you can play it as much as you want to, but at least in my cover, I played through it twice. So the first time, I just let the left hand die, and we just have those notes by themselves. The second time, I like to have the left hand actually let those notes ring out. So where were we? We were here. So that's... So actually let it ring out that time. And then we're just going to end on a giant D flat chord. Again, you're only going to do this when you're ready to end the song. If you're not ready to end it, you just go back to the beginning of the song, back to this pattern. But for our giant D flat chord, our left hand is going to be down here. And it's going to be playing D flat, A flat, and another D flat. Those fingers are 5, 2, and 1. And then we are going to have a second inversion, a second inversion D flat chord with using fingers 1, 3, and 5. And we're going to be playing A flat, D flat, and F. So that's what we're going to end on. So that sounds something like this. Let's see here. And that's how we're going to end this song. But again, you only do that at the very end if you want to. Really, you don't even have to do that. We just need some way to end the song because the song's normally an endless loop. So let's try to play through this entire thing very slowly, hands together. Again, I know I went through a lot of this a little bit quickly, and that's okay. So you might need to pause the video and work on this stuff hands separately and slowly put stuff hands together. But here's going to be a slow version that you can try to play along with once you think you're ready. 1, 2, 3. Get ready for the right hand. Get ready for the right hand. Get ready for the right hand. And on D flat. All right, and that's how you play the piano part for a quiet moment. Let's move on to the strings part. So thankfully, the strings part really isn't that difficult. So I think you're going to be able to learn this fairly quickly. So just a reminder, we're dividing this song. We have an A section, and then we repeat the A section, and then we do the B section. We're going to start off by talking about the left hand of the strings, and then we'll move on to the right hand, and then we'll put it all together. So first off, the left hand in the first A section does absolutely nothing. So we already got that part checked off. So let's move on to the second time through the A section. Again, super easy. All you got to do is play a 1-5-1 on a D flat chord. So that is pinky on D flat, second finger or a pointer finger on A flat, and then thumb on D flat as well. So you're just going to play that, and you're going to hold that for 8 measures, and that's going to get you through the entire second time through the A section. Moving on to the B section in the left hand, we're going to remove our fifth here, and we're just going to play octaves. And so we're going to jump down to G flat. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to hold that for 2 measures, going up to A flat, 2 measures, B flat, 2 measures, C, 1 measure the first time. And then you drop off after that and let the right hand in the piano do this thing. So again, so you're just going to hold the C for 1 measure, even though everything else is 2 measures. Now the second time through, I like to go ahead and hold that C for 2 measures. So again, you've got G flat 2 measures, A flat 2 measures, B flat 2 measures, C 2 measures, and then when I'm ready to end the song, move up to D flat, 2 measures. And that's the entire left hand. Pretty simple overall. Let's move on to the right hand in the strings part. So our right hand is going to come in toward the end of the first time through the A section. So just a reminder, this is what the piano part is playing in the A section. And once you get to the next note, which is B flat, that's when you're going to play your first note in the strings part. So let's start talking about that. So our strings, we're going to start with our third finger on A flat. We're going to hold that for 2 measures, go down to G flat with our second finger, again 2 measures, down to F with our thumb for 2 measures. And once you get to this F, that's also when the left hand starts playing its part. So that sounds like this. Again, 2 measures on A flat, 2 measures on G flat, and then F, and the left hand comes in. Again, 2 measures, going back up to G flat for 2 measures, up to A flat for 2 measures, down to G flat for 1 measure, down to F for 2 beats. We're going to cross with our third finger to E flat. That's just 1 beat. And then we're going to start playing second inversion chords in the right hand. Now, if you don't know what a chord inversion is, I highly recommend you check out my online course. It is a great resource. You can learn all of your major and minor chords, a bunch of basic rhythms that you can apply to just about any song on the radio that you want to apply them to, as well as chord inversions and a lot of other things too. So if you're new to piano, or maybe you're trying to get away from sheet music and start playing a little bit more on your own without the assistance of sheet music, I highly recommend my course. There's a lot of great stuff there, and it's a great tool for beginners. So please consider checking that out if you're interested in that. Let's move on to the B section for the right hand. So again, we're going to be playing a second inversion G flat major chord. Looks like this. I'm using fingers 1, 3, and 5 on D flat, G flat, and B flat. We're going to hold that for 2 measures to a second inversion A flat major. Again, fingers 1, 3, and 5. Notes are E flat, A flat, and C. Hold it for 2 measures. B flat minor, those notes are F, B flat, and D flat, fingers 1, 3, and 5, 2 measures. And then we're going to go to a root position, A flat chord, Those notes are A flat, C, and E flat. The first time, we're going to hold that for one measure and then just let the piano part play this by itself. And then the second time, go ahead and keep holding that A flat through that little piano section. So again, you're going to hold it for 2 measures the second time. And then we're going to go to a D flat major chord in first inversion. Looks like this. Those notes are F, A flat, and D flat using fingers 1, 2, and 5. So here's what the entire not the piano part, here's what the entire strings part looks like, hands together. So starting on just our single A flat note, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, off. All right, and that's how we play the entire strings and piano part of A Quiet Moment. I hope you guys found this video helpful. As always, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you around. Have a good one.